This is Comic Geek Speak, episode 1672, Comic Talk Catch-Up Edition.
You got it on Wednesday, and it was talked about it going to the volume up. These guys will talk about it, everything that geeks love. From kids to laser beams, opinions like the seasons, and everything you read in comics, movies, games, toys, artists, Comic Geek Speak, Comic Geek Speak, Comic Geek Speak, Comic Geek Speak, Comic Geek. Uniting the world's mightiest heroes, this is...
I'm Brian Chrisman.
I'm Shane Kelly.
I'm Adam Murdo.
And I'm Chris Eberly.
Comic Geek Speak.
And welcome to the show. I decided to call this our catch-up edition because we really haven't caught up with each other.
No, not for a long
quite
time.
some time, as well as you, the listeners. I know we haven't been very timely, but hey, you know, things happen.
Yes,
this,
they
this,
do.
This is supposed to be fun, and we're going to try to have some fun here tonight.
We need fun. Woo!
Oh, I need some fun. I know everybody needs.
Yeah, we
needs a
all
lot
need
of
fun.
Who among us couldn't use more fun?
That's right.
Not I, sir.
Okay. But before I get into the fun and frivolities and festivities, alliteration, I'll try it. Well, first, a word from our sponsor.
I thought you were rewinding the tape there.
This episode is brought to you by LearnToGradeComicBooks.com. Do you want to know what your comics are worth? Have you been at a convention holding your Grail book, but not sure if it is actually in the condition the dealer priced it as? Well, the Learn to Grade Comic Books course will give you the skills you need to buy and sell comics with confidence. This is an online course by our longtime friend and listener, Kevin Volo, who's been a longtime comic fan, and he actually is doing many things. He's a professional photographer, videographer. Oh, and Adam is wearing his PixelStrips.com t-shirt. Used to be at PixelStrips.com. And he is also an instructional technologist, which means he helps design online courses for universities and so forth.
Nice.
And he's made one for comic books, for grading them. So Learn to Grade Comic Books takes you step by step through every comic grade level, explaining in detail why each book received the grade that it did. Video lessons examine 3 different titles at each grade level to give you a solid baseline for understanding the grading criteria. Lessons are broken down over 30 high-definition videos. These things look gorgeous, my goodness. And with 3D, with high-resolution images to make sure you can clearly see the details being discussed. That's over 8 hours of course content plus bonus support materials. It's only $49, but if you use the coupon code CGS2017, you get an extra 5% off the course. So check them out at LearnToGradeComicBooks.com. All right. Well, how's everybody doing, first of all?
Okily dokily.
I'm okay, you're okay.
As we record this, it's towards the end of October. Tomorrow is actually Halloween. Now, Shane, you said you actually were at a Halloween party.
I was at a Halloween party. One of my old coworkers from my previous job throws incredible Halloween parties. They build almost movie set level things in their backyard.
Oh, that's right. I remember about this.
Oh, my God. So they took what I think was their favorites of all sorts of themes and put them all together. And it turned out fantastic. It also helped that I didn't have to try and find a specific themed costume. So I broke out the old Red Robin costume that I made about 15 years ago.
That long ago?
Oh, yeah. That's the only thing I can figure. I mean, we've been at the new house 5 years, and we were at the old house for quite a while, and that original party was a long time ago. So, for the most part, it all fit. I'm not going to go into more detail than that about the fitting. But I have a tub in the attic that has all of my keepsake CGS T-shirts that I've never worn because I would buy duplicates of them, and they're all there. And then the other half of that tub is all my costumes that I've had over the years. So
you're gonna get those shirts CGC graded eventually.
yeah, they're slabs. I have my Blue Beetle costume, Dr. Midnight, Red Robin. I didn't have any of my Dick Grayson Agent from Spiral stuff in there. I don't know where that is. But yeah, everything else was in there. So that was kind of cool that I found it. I was afraid I was going to really be up the creek without a paddle for a Halloween costume. But it worked out great. Got to see Matt. He was there.
I thought he might be.
Yep.
And this is his neighbor, right?
Yep, it is. He helped fashion a mask because I did leave my mask I had at home. So he helped with fashioning a quick kind of domino mask that worked well. So
Was
it was a
he
good
in
time.
costume?
The Shadow.
Breaking out another
Oh
one of
my
his
God.
classics. Yeah.
Still looked fantastic. That's an awesome costume.
He said he was going to take his little minions, which is what he calls his kids, trick-or-treating.
Yeah, yeah.
Apparently little Sophie was Wonder Woman, and
Yep.
Evan was Cap, and
Yep.
And Matt was Bearded Guy. The Titanic trio.
But yeah, it was a lot of fun. I don't always get to go to the Halloween party. This guy, he opens it up to the public on Halloween night for trick-or-treaters to go through. So you can go over to his house and walk through it. Not the house, but the setup that they have between the neighbors' backyards. So I usually get over there that night, no matter what. I think there's only one time I missed that. But yeah, I don't always make the parties, but it was a lot of fun. Good time was had by all.
Nice. Well, now, Chris, it's been a while since we've had you on the shows. I know you've been very busy with lots of things, with school starting up again, and, of course, with, unfortunately, the closing of Wildpig Comics. Now, I did make, actually, one last trek over there. I was jonesing to have a game night with Bill and Danny,
Yep.
and I was getting ready to start overnights, and the store was closed. It was like a perfect storm. So I went over there, I think it was the Thursday, or the Friday, the 13th or 14th, I don't know, of October. So actually, and it was pretty much all, a lot of stuff was gone already, but I did manage to grab a couple books, but 2 pieces of artwork. I couldn't help myself. So, Chris, I'm now the proud owner of, I guess, Gravity, page 1 from issue 3 by Mike Norton.
Nice.
Oh, yeah.
And I got I have a soft spot in my heart for Pat Olive artwork, and I got a Pat Olive Spider-Girl page.
Nice.
Oh, okay. Fantastic. I wasn't there that night, right? No.
No,
yeah, I
you
don't
were
remember that.
fortunately
Yeah.
not there. But so I did my last bit of help there.
Thanks, pal. My main man, Lewis, was there. And I appreciate that, Pants. I didn't even know you were there.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
I snuck under the wire. But what can you tell us about how things are going for you post Wild Pig?
Well, I want to turn to a therapy session, but it's not good. I mean, I'm sorry to be a downer, but I'm not going to sugarcoat. It's the store was open a year longer than it should have been, and I'm going through a very difficult time. Granted, it's self-created. It's not like a tragedy happened, or like when my first store was destroyed in a flood or anything like that. So, yeah, it's just very difficult. We're almost done liquidating everything. I'm doing one of my friend John Paul's comic shows on November 12th in Clifton, NewJerseyComicBookShows.com. The only real comic book shows left in the country, more or less. I don't count all the multimedia crap you have now passing for comic shows in most places. And I'm going to sell off my wall books there because I didn't want to sell them in liquidation because I can make more money off of them selling them at a show. And then whatever's left, I have some some dealers lined up who will probably buy them. And I've been struggling because, and I mentioned this to people in email, some listeners who are kind enough to write and say hello and so forth. I may be done with retailing permanently.
Okay.
Yeah, I've for a variety of reasons, primarily financial and also just emotional. I'm meeting with new accountants on Wednesday just to go over my options because I'm in bad shape. Like I said, I don't want to get into too many details because it's very private. But I tell you guys off the air. And Shane already knows. But I'm outside of the show and reading. I'm pretty much done with this business. So unless the accountants tell me I have to keep signing them, so we'll see what they say. But everything's been liquidated except for my wall books.
Oh, okay.
I know wholesale. They bought all my bargain comics and trades and everything else, and I'm just trying to finish up. We're turning over the store key back to the landlord this coming Sunday, so I still have to clean out some furniture and things like that. Anybody who wants about 20 folding tables, please let me know because I don't need them. It's not the way I knew I was going to do this the rest of my life, but this is not the way I wanted it to go out. And it was jarring because when I closed the first time, I just closed to do shows, so I didn't really sell anything off. I just kept everything. Whereas here, we literally dismantled everything. So it was, it's like watching almost 20 years of your life and all your efforts kind of just walk out the door.
Sure.
You know, there are people with far worse troubles in the world. But you know, that was bittersweet. In some ways, I'm relieved because, and I'll be very, very frank here. The store in the end was just not the store I really wanted it to be, and that's not a shot against anybody. It's just it became something I really didn't want it to be. And no offense, I'm just not a Magic the Gathering guy at all. And between the horrible profitability of that game, and I emphasize the word horrible, and the, how shall I put this?
Careful. Yeah.
No, I don't really care at this point. The disloyalty of certain personalities, not all, but certain personalities who play that game. The store becomes something where it couldn't function without a vibrant, strong Magic community. And because back issues were very profitable, they couldn't carry the business on their own. And New Comics I was more than happy to be done with because they were a massive albatross at this point. But that Magic community, for a variety of reasons, basically evaporated in the past year, minus some very wonderful and loyal people who stuck around. And those people know who they are. And that was like the final nail in the coffin. And I, you know, it's my fault because I made some really bad decisions like the last year or so I was open, in terms of spending and things like that. It's kind of out of desperation and short-sightedness. And I'll be struggling with that probably for years to come. So, don't mean to be a Debbie Downing here, but you asked, so I'm just telling you.
Well, yeah, no, it's like part of the catch-up part of the episode here.
Yeah. So, don't open a comic book store, boys and girls. That's the best advice I can tell you in the 21st century because they are very much going the way of extinction. I'm not saying that as out of sour grapes. That's just brutal lessons learned over many years. So, yeah, it's. I'm looking forward to getting back to a point in my life where I can just enjoy reading books again and not thinking about them in terms of money and profits and all that. And, you know, obviously the show is a wonderful lifeline for me because I actually enjoy it. So, yeah, it's rough. But it's my own fault. I made some bad decisions, and now I have to struggle with, you know, some real serious debts. So,
well, I for one, very sorry to see the store go, but I do have a basic understanding of you know why you had to say goodbye to it, and it's good that you've actually mentioned that you're really getting out of the comic retailing altogether, because I'm sort of, again, like I say, slowly wanting to pare down my collection. And was thinking of the best way to do that. I thought, if Chris is still doing shows, maybe takes books on consignment, but obviously that's not going to be a thing anymore. So,
well, yeah, I mean, I appreciate that, Pansy, but I'm actually, it's funny you mention that because one thing I was reflecting on, because you think about, you know, what if I had done this or that and so forth, which is kind of a normal response.
Sure.
The amount of collections that people are bringing into the shop over the past few years was so high. The lifespan of this, I think, is so finite at this point. Like people were dumping books left and right the last few years I was in business.
Wow.
Right up to, you know, the last sale I did, you know, which was kind of our last gasp at the end of September. I'm not saying that, you know, people can't sell back issues because there's still people out there buying them. Granted, they're all middle-aged or older for the most part, so that should tell you something as well. But again, unless I'm told differently by the accountants, I'm through with retailing. I mean, this last show I'm doing the 12th. If you want to get some great wall books or great deals, come to Clifton, New Jersey, NewJerseyComicBookShows.com, because I got a kick-ass wall, which just nobody really bought back in the last sale we did, except for some wonderful listeners and a few other people. So, yeah, that's a whole big discussion. I mean, I'm fascinated to see the comic book industry's future in the next few years because I can't see it having viability in the current form it is in, not the medium itself, just the current form. That's because the current form that's in is totally insane. From having to order things months ahead of time, not knowing exactly who's going to buy what, even if you have a reservation system, to the laughably absurd prices for these things now. Hence why all of us, for example, buy our books from DCB servers, because why the hell would you pay $4 for something you read in 10 minutes? You know, that's a whole episode topic as far as like the future of this industry. Because I'm fascinated, because I can't imagine Marvel and DC are making any money on these books at this point. I can't see how they are. So I'm interested to see over the next few years where it's going to go, and during that time, I'll be happily putting my feet up and just reading them and talking about them here, because I'm really looking forward to that.
Yeah.
So, sorry, Adam, that was really downer.
But yeah, I wanted you to tell the listeners and tell us and everybody else about what's going on. You've been a part of the show for so long, and so is Wildpig.
God, yeah.
I mean, I'm listening to old episodes now, back like 2006 and 2007, and we're talking about visiting Wildpig and
for the first time.
Yeah.
Well, like I said, I appreciate that. I didn't want to close, but crushing financial realities of the past year, combined with just certain things in the business, I'm like, I don't want to do this anymore. Like, I don't want to go out and buy, magic boxes and all this stuff. I'm not interested in any of that. And combined with the I got to sell a pack for $4. I'm not even making 50% profit. And I'm like, why? Like, it's just, it's the only way gaming stores work is if you have so many people coming in, buying stuff and sitting there and buying drinks and food, buying accessories, buying other supplies, because the games themselves you make very little money on. So that just never fully, it worked out for us for a while, and that's all credit to Bill, who did a great job, but and other people helped us. But ultimately, that just didn't maintain itself. So, and that's where I'm kicking myself, because there were plenty of signs like, what's stop.
Right.
This is, there's. I found in all my years doing this, there are certain types of customers in certain hobbies who you could like spit in their faces, not that I would ever do that. They'll keep coming to your store. There are other types of customers who, what deal can I get? How can I work the system to my advantage, and this and that, and you guys all know what I'm talking about. I'm not going to get too much detail because I don't want to offend people, but I don't want to deal with the people in the latter category for the most part. I want to deal with the people in the former category, and it became too much the people in the latter category, and that's just not my world and not what kind of business I want to really be involved in. So in that sense, I'm relieved, but I just, again, I handled it very poorly, and I'm going to be hurting for quite some time. But that's my own self-created hell.
Well, I'm going to sort of slide the conversation now over to continuing about sort of retail and struggling retailers to Toys R Us, where it's now Christmas season, and that's where I work. And I've now started working overnights. Yay! I love that, because I don't have to deal with the craziness of the daytime things. We just set our big ad, the big book, and I'm actually taking on a little more responsibility overnights because of people not the other manager needs to have days off, so I got to watch manage the store while that person's off overnight. So take a little more responsibility, get a little bump in pay. Plus, I'm working overnight, which is more pay anyway to begin with. Yeah. Plus, there's going to be more incentives for people to stay longer during season. They'll get increase your hourly rate. You get closer to the end of the business. Well, for some weekends. So Toys R Us has been struggling with competition with other places, and they file for protection from bankruptcy as well. So, I mean, I'm still, doing okay. However, remember how I mentioned a little while ago I had the water heater problem?
Yes.
Well, when they were in there looking at the water heater, they looked at my gas boiler, because I have radiators in the house, and they looked at it and said, well, that hasn't been serviced in about like 11 years. I'm going to take a look at that. Okay, so now it's getting a little cold. You know what? Let me have to take a look at it. Mm-hmm. So I looked at it and cleaned it out, and, hey, guess what? You've got a small leak starting in here. Well, the thing's 40 years old, so I guess I got my time out of it, but they're coming tomorrow to install all new stuff. And I got the bill. I was like, wah-ha-ha! Woo-hoo! So thank God I'm getting more money for overnights. Also, thank God I put some things up for auction on Comic Link, not the least of which is my 9.2 CGC copy of Batman Adventures number 12, the first appearance of Harley Quinn.
Oh, nice.
It's like, I have this thing sitting around my house. Why not put it up for auction? So it's up for auction.
Right. Strike now while the issue is hot.
Exactly.
Well, it's hot,
So
yeah.
and like I said, I'm going to start paring my collection down. So I have some auctions for other books as well, and a piece of artwork that's very timely to help me out with that. But it's like, I didn't need that. Oh, and then the Wednesday morning when I got the bill for that, I went to the dentist in the afternoon. Now, I'm almost 48 years old. Never had a cavity in my life until that day. Well, he goes, "Oh, guess what? You got a cavity." It's like, you got to be fucking kidding me. It's like,
Never rains, but it pours.
I mean, again, like Chris said, in the vastness of the universe, these problems are minuscule. But I mean, it's my hill and they're my beans. So, but just I'm sitting there in a chair, and it's like, I have a cavity. You've got to be kidding me. That's the one thing I took pride in for myself all these years, that I never had a cavity.
But that's not your fault.
Do you have dental insurance?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, and actually, he said, "Hey, we got time. Let's go drill it now." It's like, shit,
nice.
Take care of it right away. Otherwise, I might not want to come back.
That usually takes weeks to get back in there.
So I was in and out in like 30 more minutes.
Oh, that's awesome.
But I really felt like I let somebody down. I swear to God, it was just. I had some other news a while ago that someone told me that it was a punch. It was like a punch in the gut. I mean,
Well, you've lived half a century without ever having a cavity in your teeth. Brian.
yeah,
That's-
but still,
I celebrate that instead of mourning the fact that you finally got
But
one.
it was just after getting this enormous bill for this thing in my house. It's
Yeah.
like, I just felt like crap. But anyway, again, my problems. But on some positive notes, I've been working on not one, but 2 different types of CGS episodes. One of them will probably be out, and they're both multi-parts. So I'm working maybe 5-6 episodes in total. One of them will definitely be out before the end of the year. The other one will be for next year. And one of them, I'm doing a spotlight. And I've got the guys' full backing on this, and I'm doing some early research, and I'm sharing with these guys. It's just fascinating stuff, isn't it?
Oh yeah.
I mean, I don't usually talk about things that haven't been recorded yet because we screwed up, whatever. But I'm really excited about these things. It's like, man, just doing the research and just finding out, God, this is amazing stuff.
See, what you don't know is we recorded the answers, and we're just going to put them here. I'm kidding. No, it looks good.
Go ahead, Shane. Speaking of amazing, I have to shout out for Murd, the magnificent time bubble he recorded.
I didn't get to listen to that yet.
Last week.
Well,
Kudos, brother. Kudos.
well, thank you, Chris.
Yes.
Yeah, it's just a little stopgap measure there, because as Brian says, it's been a while since we've been able to get our heads together and record something else. So, climbed back in the
My
cockpit.
friend,
of
that
the
is a vast stopgap.
Yeah.
That is a vast stopgap.
And because they have to come in and because I have radiators in my house.
Oh yeah.
They have to bleed the radiators. So there may have been some obstructed radiators, let's say.
Oh, I didn't even think of that at first.
Obstructed by
Like
Everything.
comic book boxes for one thing, some toys. So I can see the carpet in my bedroom now.
wow.
I have carpet in my bedroom.
What color is it?
It's red.
Wow.
I had no idea.
It's red, really?
Well, reddish. Maybe vacuum over to more bright red. I don't know. I haven't
Maybe
seen
vacuum over to come like tan or something.
I haven't seen it in 25 years.
Wow.
Who knew?
Wow.
And they're coming tomorrow, so I have to move a few more things. But moving downstairs, I had some boxes by there of comics. And it's like, well, if I'm going to move this damn box, I'm going to see what's fucking inside of it. Pardon my French.
Yeah.
So I'm going through one of, here's the trade of Craven's Last Hunt. I'll put that aside to read that overnight, because I can go to read things overnight at the store. Oh, here's Brave and the Bold from the 2000s. Oh,
I love that
here's
series.
Brave and the Bold 33, Wonder Woman, Zatanna, Batgirl.
Such a great issue.
Like one of the best single issues, one and dones in the last 10 years, if not
Easily.
even longer.
Easily.
JMS and Cliff Chang. So I put that aside to read.
That's a great issue.
So I was like, I got some stuff.
That fetches a few dollars, by the way.
Oh, yeah,
yeah.
it's about $20, $30
between that
called
issue-
Ladies' Night. Yeah.
That issue and the one episode of Birds of Prey with Nightwing in it.
Birds of Prey number 8.
Those two.
The Birds of Prey is pricey.
Oh, those 2 issues, man. I am so glad that I was into those series and just got them by natural progression.
And then I'm going through, and I found the first 12 issues of the most recent earlier volume of Silver Surfer with Dan Slott and Michael.
Nice.
So because my comic book shipment is not here yet. It's going to be here tomorrow. In that box is Silver Surfer number 14, the final issue.
Oh,
yes,
man.
the final.
Okay, all right. So,
Michael Allred, which I haven't read it yet.
all right, quick segue because I read it, so I was going to
No!
talk about it. No, I won't. So I won't because I get biweekly shipping. So I'm not going to comment on it. All I'm going to say is strap in.
Oh yeah, I mean, I read issue 13, and I'm like literally crying when I'm reading this damn thing.
Well, the other thing I'll say is, and this is not giving anything away, without question, for me, one of the best Marvel series of this decade, easily, right up there with the Vision. And let me give my 2 cents as to why, because it's not tied into some overarching bloated crossover event. It's the creators being given clearly a lot of room to implement their vision, no pun intended, and lo and behold, you get a classic series. And like, for example, I just caught up and I just finished Secret Empire, and you know what? It was well told. It's Nick Spencer. He built it up over years. Excellent writer. And I'm at the point now, call me jaded, I don't care anymore. I'm like, wow, Steve Rogers came back. What a shock. Like, that wasn't going to happen. I'm renouncing, like, crossovers. Like, I just, I don't care anymore. When you read a book like Silver Surfer or The Vision or many of the great Image titles out there, that's all I'm interested in now, because the other stuff, they're well told. Like, I really enjoyed Secret Wars as well, for example, but it's just churning the machine. That's all it is. And there's no surprises ultimately, and they're placeholders, as well done as some of them are. And Silver Surfer 14 was just a perfect capstone to one of the best Marvel series of the past decade, without question.
I cannot wait to read that. And on a similar note, I contacted Mike Allred's art agent because, now I don't know if you know this, Shane, but the monkeys are appearing in Archie's number 4 coming out next year.
No, I didn't know that.
So they're appearing in that. It's going to be drawn by Joe Eisma, and Joe did one of the covers for that, and I actually bought the cover at New York Comic Con that he did. Now, there's 2 other covers for that issue, one by Greg Smallwood. I contacted his art rep because that's Paolo from Cadence Comic Art.
Yep.
Well, that cover was done digitally. Okay, no art for that. But Mike Allred did a cover, which was gorgeous, so I contacted his art agent, and I was just too late because it had sold. Which is probably a good thing with this whole bill I have coming up anyway. But I also asked him, and I almost knew the answer when I got the answer that I thought I was going to get. Does he have any Silver Surfer artwork? And he goes, no, he's keeping all that.
Wow.
So it's like...
No, I don't blame him.
Because, I mean, I could go through like a dozen or more pages. I would say, I want this, 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 and this. So maybe at some point, go for a commission, because a Silver Surfer Dawn Greenwood piece would just be just awesome, because I love that art so much.
Pants, he and Slott write moving postscripts, as they often do when creators end a series. And when you read it, you really get a sense of how much the series meant to Allred. I'm not surprised it's keeping all the artwork.
Yeah. So looking forward to getting that. And then just to backtrack a little bit about reading things overnight, like when I'm overnight and locked in the store, I bring some comics to read. Because at this point, like I said, I'm working overnights, 10 p.m. to 6 a.m. I won't see the sun again until January, quite frankly.
You're lucky.
Really?
I love nighttime.
Okay. And I do sometimes get down on comics, and I'm falling behind in some of my monthly reading. But it's a good chance to pick up some reading from trades, things. And I looked at my collection, and I said, hey, you know what? Let me reread Scott Pilgrim. Because we'd read Scott Pilgrim Volumes 1 and 2 back at episode 894 in July of 2010.
Triple digits.
Yeah, getting out before the movie came out. So I dug those back out again and reread them. Really enjoyed them. It's only 6 volumes, so I already finished it already.
Jeez.
But notice in the back a couple of mentions of Hope Larson. I thought, well, that's kind of... Like in the very last volume, Brian Lee O'Malley, the creator, has a little thing that says, wrote and drew the book, despite everything. And there's a note here. It goes, this book and all the others and the past 6 years and the other years are all dedicated to Hope Larson. And I thought... Because at the time, I don't think I knew who Hope Larson was. Of course, now she's an Eisner Award-winning writer. She writes Batgirl. She's written other things. They were married, apparently, at that time. I did not know that. They're divorced now, but they're married. So I did not know that. So that was a nice thing to discover when I was rereading the book. But The next thing I'm going to read overnight. Remember we did Monster?
Yes.
We did, I think, the first
two. We did.
And then we did a follow-up
Yep.
on issues 3, on volume 3 and 4. I have all 20 volumes, and I found the first 18 of them.
Nice.
So I might start reading that in anticipation
Wow.
of finding the last 2, because that was a tremendous series.
Yeah, it was.
And I want to get back into reading that.
Right.
And
as a manga series, it's a fairly quick read, too.
yes, and of course I want to get Silver Surfer tomorrow. When I'm watching Netflix or whatever, when they're doing the work down in the basement and I hear the doorbell ring, actually I don't have the doorbell, I'm hearing the door knock, that they're, FedEx is here, like, close the door, read Silver Surfer 14, My gosh.
Shane, have you read Shane, are you keeping up with the Star Trek, the current Mirror Universe story by
Yes.
J.K. Woodward and the Tiptons?
I think I have issue 3 to read, and then issue 4 should be coming in the shipment soon. So I'll read those together.
I can't love that series
Oh,
enough.
my God.
Talking about capturing the voices of the characters
Yeah.
so perfectly, yet with that slant because it's the Mirror World, and Woodward's art is just
out of
the
this
guy
world.
just knocks it out of the park every time.
I
It's
love
amazing.
when he goes live on Facebook, and I can sit there for, I haven't done it in a while, but sometimes I could sit there for 15 minutes to a half hour just watching him paint, and I would converse with him through there, and he'd, hey, Shane, how's it going? I love watching him paint. Absolutely gorgeous.
And sort of,
Yeah,
I'm sorry, go ahead. I had gestures
No,
worked
that's all.
out.
Go ahead, Vance.
I had choreography worked out here. So trying to segue off of the...
He did jazz hands.
Again, with the retail, and so move over to Adam. What have you been doing now that you're no longer in Stone Harbor, New Jersey for your shop?
Well, I just left Stone Harbor this morning, so I've been there for 4 months, and now I no longer am.
That's it?
I'm here instead. I really don't have that much to say about it.
Oh,
There's
I'm
not
trying to give you the spotlight,
Not
sir.
much to it, and even less to it that's of any interest to anyone. So, packed everything
Well,
up and
Murd,
left.
Murd, one thing I'll say is that once I get my life settled, I want to come out there so I can do that final Captain Marvel spotlight, for example.
Excellent. Yes, I have
Yeah,
been
that's
taking
overdue.
Excellent. I've been taking some time to reread the last few issues of Captain Marvel, Wiz Comics, and the Marvel family in preparation for that. See the Marvels through.
Wonderful. And in addition to helping Pants with what he's working on, which, by the way, ladies and gentlemen, is a magnificent idea Pants has initiated, I'll be getting back to setting up, doing a new spotlight of my own again once I have time, which I don't right now, so I don't know when, but hopefully the next few months, because I have a couple different characters that I want to tackle. So...
All right.
hopefully good stuff's coming down the pike.
Yeah. I mean, I'm optimistic about some things I'm really excited about. Again, I'm just wandering around some things here. Did you guys see this? Most for the guys in the room, but maybe even Chris. Did you guys see about this IX Arts convention or show?
No.
There's a show. It's oh my God! It's ILluxCon. ILLUXCon. They had their 10th anniversary convention, and it's held in Reading at the Goggle Works.
Oh, that one.
That
right.
one,
Okay.
yeah.
Right. Lynn Workman posted something.
Yes.
Lynn Workman from Bushy Tales and a longtime listener of ours, and it's all into everything, and the Batman with the back.
I love when he posts about Batman.
Yes. Well, he posted a link that there was this show in Reading, literally less than a 10-minute drive from my house. I drive past it on the way to work. I drove past it on the way to the studio today. And I didn't know this convention was going on this a couple of weekends ago. It happened like October 18th to the 22nd, I believe. And I'm going to read from their website. It goes, what is IX? It says, founded in 2008, IX is the first groundbreaking art show, symposium, and celebration dedicated solely to imaginative realism, bringing artists, students, collectors, and art fans together for an annual gathering intended to inspire and create further awareness and zeal for imaginative realism and all that's encompassed in the realm of the fantastic. Not my cup of tea, looking at sort of the website. It's more like an illustration show, but some of the names that were there, Neil Adams was there. Dave Dorman was there. And Julie Bell and Boris, Vallejo were there.
Wow.
But having this show so close to me, I don't know why I didn't hear about it.
Right.
And they limit the attendance. They had a few exhibits at the Doubletree Hotel down on Penn Street.
That's a
Friday
gorgeous
night and
hotel.
Saturday, which I've never been in.
Oh, my God, it's
I
gorgeous.
should have just gone down just for that, but I
Yeah.
had my overnight starting. But I'm kind of curious about it. But it was like, I think, $25 for like a one-day pass, and it seemed to be a little much just if I didn't have that much interest in it. But
Yeah.
I have to keep an eye for next year.
Yeah.
It's having a big show like this, and they bring people from around the world here to like 10 minutes from my house.
Sure.
Why can't I be bothered to go see it? I should get on my butt and go do that.
I completely forgot that was going on with all the crap that's been
I
going
think
on.
Danielle Corsetto mentioned about that one time in the past, that she
she
was either thinking about coming or wanted to know anything about it.
Yeah. Oh, speaking of her,
Okay, segue.
I ordered one of her volumes from
Kickstarter? Oh,
Yeah.
the girls, one of them, the whole
The
collection.
whole collection, yeah. So I'm excited to get that. There's a couple
Goes
trades.
with slingshots.
There's a couple of the trades that I just never got around to getting,
Uh-huh.
and I'm happy to have a nice hardback 2-volume collection coming my way. I could not believe what happened with that Kickstarter.
Yeah, how
Oh my
quickly
God.
Oh my God.
it met its goal.
It exploded. That
and
was
So many of
insane.
its stretch goals.
That was fantastic.
Yeah, well, Danielle's got a lot of loyal fans.
Oh, absolutely.
That's an understatement. My God,
Yes.
that's one of the most amazing Kickstarters I've ever seen.
Yep.
Holy
You and
mackerel!
me both.
But that doesn't surprise me because it's Corsetto.
It's fantastic.
So, Jim, if I may, I want to mention a couple things. Then
Sure.
unfortunately, I have to depart soon.
Sure.
First of all, anybody see the new Blade Runner?
No. No, I have to figure out how to see that, or I'm certainly going to get it when it comes out on video, but
Okay, then I won't spoil anything. Obviously, I'm a rabid fan of well, there's different versions of the original, but
There are like 7
of
of them.
you know, yeah. I mean, I've seen all the different versions, but I thoroughly enjoyed the sequel. Again, I'm not going to spoil anything, Shane, but you know, the director. I'm a big fan of the director. He's done some movies I've really enjoyed, like Sicario, for example, and visually stunning. You know, I mean, it's not. I mean, the original Blade Runner is such a classic, groundbreaking film. I mean, and the sequel's obviously not going to compete with that because it just can't, because it's a sequel. And you know, the original Blade Runner. I just read a quote from Brian K. Vaughan in the letters pages. I think it was either Vaughan or Brubaker. Well, I forgot which. I'm sorry, which one said it. But they said, you know, it's just as good now when you watch the original as it was then. And I agree 100%.
I do too.
In every way. It still looks amazing now. And the sequel, it's a worthy sequel. I think it's the best I can say about it. I'm a big Ryan Gosling fan. He was outstanding. Haunting. I mean, they really captured that world, but a lot of time has passed, so things have happened in that world that have changed, you know, to some degree how it also looks. But Shane, I think if you're a fan of the original, I think you're really going to enjoy it.
Oh, I
and
am.
also without spoiling, because I don't want Pants to go into a tizzy. All I'll say is the new Black Panther trailer.
Oh my God, is that amazing?
Pants, just relax, Pants. I'm not going to ruin anything.
Okay.
All I'm going to say is that it's obvious, it's very clear to me, based on the images they showed, that they have done their homework, and I really think they really read the pre-series.
It looks amazing.
That's all I'm saying, Pants. But
Okay.
my gut is telling me, and I understand this because I'm a rabid Panther fan, especially of the Priest era. I think this movie is going to blow the doors off of Marvel movies. Like, I think this is going to be something else, because it just looks like they really got it. The other thing I wanted to bring up, there's a wonderful interview in the New York Times today with Mark Hamill.
Really?
I checked. We'll go in the art section, because they archive everything, and he talks about his whole career and just how he feels about the character of Luke Skywalker and his place. It's a really, and they also Harrison Ford was quoted a lot in the interview as well. It's a really interesting. I think any Star Wars fan will really enjoy it and savor it, because you always get the sense that Mark Hamill is just not someone who's got like this massive celebrity ego, and he's like got such a great sense of humor, and he's also a geek, and all that comes out in this interview.
That's great.
And so go to the New York Times art section if you're a Star Wars fan, and just seek out that great interview. It's a great interview. It was in today's edition.
Did any of you see the Justice League action spot? I don't think it's aired yet, but it's been gone around YouTube and Facebook and all that, of Mark Hamill getting kidnapped by the Trickster and the Joker.
I just saw that.
Oh my God!
I didn't watch it, but I saw the clip. It was on my feed today.
Oh, and then Swamp Thing comes in, and all of them are voiced by Mark Hamill. It is a riot.
Did they work the Hobgoblin in there somehow?
No. But they do have. Well, I'm not going to tell you. You got to watch it. Oh my God, it is so good.
I'll have to watch that.
I enjoyed that entire cartoon. I haven't watched every one. I have them all recorded, but I keep recording them and missing watching them.
Where is it?
It's on Cartoon Network. They're 15, 20-minute segments.
Yeah, as of this past spring or fall, they were airing them like early Saturday morning.
Yeah, so they would air an episode of that, and like one cartoon of that, and then a cartoon of Teen Titans Go, making up almost a half hour of time, but not really saying DC comic cartoon half hour show or anything like that. I have them all, but I keep getting behind on watching them right away, and then I'll binge a few of them. The Booster Gold ones they've had on are hilarious. I just watched one with Zod and the Phantom Zone projector and Booster Gold, but I cannot wait to watch that Mark Hamill one again. I posted it on my Facebook feed.
I remember where I saw it from.
Oh my God, it's so funny. So
Shane,
good.
that reminds me. Have you watched the new Adam West Batman DVD?
Yes, I did.
We're just going to talk about
Oh
that.
my God, did I love that?
I haven't picked it up yet. I assume it's worth seeing.
I think it's better than the first one, and I love the first one.
Oh wow!
They have a couple extra guests that come into this one, which was fantastic. Bill Shatner as Two-Face, I absolutely loved. The way they drew
I'm looking forward to that.
Harvey Dent before he's Two-Face, and even, the good side of Harvey Dent after he's Two-Face, it looks like the Filmation Kirk from the animated Enterprise Star Trek shows. I loved it. I have watched it 2 or 3 times and listened to it a couple times.
Oh wow! All right, well, I'm gonna pick it up as soon as I can. We can discuss it.
Oh my God, it is! I really thought it was good. I really did. I thought it was a little bit better than the first one.
Yeah,
And even if it's not, that just be my own personal opinion, because I thought Bill Shatner did a great job in it. I thought he was a riot in it.
Shatner.
And
Gentlemen, I have to depart now. I apologize.
Alrighty.
All right, Chris,
take care.
Didn't mean to cut you off there, Shane.
No
Sorry about
problem.
that.
No problem at all.
But gentlemen, I love you all. It was wonderful to talk with you.
Right back at you.
I look forward to being on the air again in the very near future.
You got it.
All right.
All right, brothers. Have a good night. Take care now.
Sir.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Just the way that they drew him when that first came on, I went nuts at home, and I'm the only one. No one else is around.
Right, they don't know what to
so
do.
good.
And once again now, with that music lets us know, it's time for Muddle the Murd, our trivia segment. All right, so in this segment, our contestant will be playing for not one, but 2 pieces of artwork again
All right.
from our anonymous listener. Up first is a Tim Sale drawing for the Hero Initiative of Superman.
That is a prize worth winning.
Yes. And also,
It's going to be a photograph of a Tim Sale. No, I'm kidding.
from Emmy Lennox, 2 pages. Pages, I think, let me check here, 241 and 242. It's actually a double-sided. Yep. From Emmytown, Volume 1, original art. It's looks like a title page and then sort of a December 2009 pastiche. If that's the word. Did you grab the sale? You did grab the sale.
I did.
Okay. All right.
It's taking a picture of it before it goes.
That's right.
Well, it may not go for quite a while here.
I don't care.
It may not.
All right.
Just depending. I mean, the last Muddle the Murd segment we did was something of a flogging for me, and I have to apologize to Devin James. He hasn't gotten his prize yet. I'm holding it right here. I'm going to send him an email tonight.
Okay. All right. So I don't think we've had this question before, so I'm trying to go through the emails here and have them marked. This comes to us from Ryan Howard. Not that Ryan Howard, but another Ryan Howard. Okay. Says, "Greetings, geeks. I'm a few episodes behind the show right now. This comes to us from August 30th. But hopefully this submission will allow Pants to continue using his favorite word, penultimate, which is not the penultimate. There's actually more in the queue here.
Yep, good to hear.
But you already used it, so.
Before we get started here, I want to mention, when he wants to remind Murd and myself that he had the honor of meeting us at HeroesCon 2016. Now on to the questions. Question 1, Marvel pre-1970. Now, if this sounds familiar, I asked before, let me know.
All right, I'll stop you if I've heard this one.
Which Daredevil villain is actually the father of Karen Page?
Oh, my goodness.
Ooh, so must be a new one then.
Yeah, oh, boy. Well, his name is Dr. Paxton Page.
That's correct. But the question was which Daredevil villain?
What? Something to do with radiation. As I recall, he was a specialist in that field, and I think he was poisoned by cobalt radiation, and he became... brother. Blimey. I'm trying to think back to our Daredevil spotlights. Death's Head.
Death's Head.
Get
By
out. Wow.
It's Halloween, baby!
That's it. All right.
Saved by the spooky. Thank you, Dr. Page.
Excellent. Wow. Well, we'll continue on here.
Yoink.
Question number 2.
Tim Sale drawing is staying here a little longer.
Independent, 1970 to 2000. Name the issues of Valiant and Image's 1993-94 crossover, Deathmate, and tell me which companies were responsible for publishing which issues.
I know that.
Well, I can remember.
that.
Well, how many are we looking for here?
Looks like 6.
Ugh. Well, I can name 3 of them, and I can tell you the company that published one of them. Black, I believe, was Image.
Correct.
Okay, that was when Gen 13's first appearance. There was also Blue and Yellow.
Also correct.
But I didn't tell you who published them, though.
That's correct. You did not.
Okay, Blue Valiant?
Uh-huh.
Yellow Valiant?
Correct.
Okay, so that's... But
So far, you're halfway home. Come on. Come on.
Red Image?
Okay, all right.
Okay, I got...
4 out of 6.
Now, that ain't bad.
That ain't it reduced to 2 out of 3, and we all know 2 out of 3 ain't bad. Yeah. God damn it, I love math.
I love meatloaf.
Meatloaf, too. Meatloaf.
Something about him is faintly Halloweenish, too. I don't know why.
Rocky Horror.
Bat Out of Hell.
Rocky Horror. Yeah.
No, that's
well,
too.
Bat Out of
That's
Hell.
too.
You too. Paradise by the Dashboard Lights.
Oh, that's a great song.
Phil Rizzuto.
All right, let me see if I can pull like
As he rubs
Another
his temples.
yoink.
2 more colors out of the ether here. White?
I'm sorry, white is not one of them.
The
The last 2 are not colors.
Okay. X?
No.
O?
No.
Prime?
No. They're words.
Omega?
Starting, ending.
Okay, so not Alpha and Omega then?
Prologue, epilogue.
Okay.
Prologue by Valiant, epilogue by Image.
Yeah, well, but still.
That was pretty good, though. Adam.
Out
Don't
of
be
3.
sad, 'cause 2 out of 3 ain't bad.
Oh, that was good.
DC, final question, DC 2000 to present. Present! In the conclusion to Bruce Wayne Murderer and Bruce Wayne Fugitive, who is revealed to be Vesper Fairchild's real murderer?
Oh, I don't remember that.
I should, because I didn't read that story, but I read a couple of issues that came out shortly afterwards.
Well, one of those had the 10-cent issue in it.
Yeah.
I think that kind of launched that whole
Launched the murderer thing.
couple of stories. Who was the real murderer? This was mentioned, I think, in a letter column not long after that, of an issue that I read. I think it might have been that comic that I reviewed for the last Time Bubble episode. It was an issue that retold the first Batman story and brought that so half back into... Well, you know, that famous 1950s issue which revealed Thomas Wayne was the first Batman and wore that Batman style
Halloween,
costume. Yeah, so
I want to say it was Detective Comics 255, I want to say.
Yep.
Well, I just said it.
It might be 256, but again, it's my memory for issue numbers isn't great.
Yeah,
but anyway, in the letters column of that issue, I think somebody did mention the death of Vesper Fairchild and who actually offed her. And, by gosh, can't think of it. Ra's al Ghul.
No. The answer is David Kane.
Oh, yes, father of Cassandra Cain, the temporary Batgirl.
Actually, I'm sorry, it's issue 235.
That was the first Batman?
That was the issue I'm thinking of. Yeah, the first Batman. Yes,
That was the
235.
title of the story.
235.
All right. Well, he was a master assassin after all.
Yes.
Yeah.
So,
Oh, bonus question.
bonus question. Okay.
Why did they murder Vesper? Or in that case, we know it's now a he. Why did he murder Vesper?
Why did he? Right. Why did it? Well, to discredit Bruce Wayne for some reason. I don't know why.
President Lex Luthor hired him to do it.
I don't remember that.
Well, Luthor did have a couple bones to pick with Bruce Wayne, as I recall.
Yes.
Something.
Evil.
Reasons
All right.
going back to No Man's Land, I think.
Yeah. So you were not muddled there.
Baby, we can talk all night,
But that ain't getting us nowhere.
Anyway, thank you, Ryan Howard.
Yes. Enjoy your retirement from the Phillies.
Yeah.
Gosh, this has been all over the place here.
So.
Oh, Shane!
What?
I wanted to ask you how things are going with you. You want to?
Okay. I don't know how many people out there in the listening world knew this, but I mean, I talked about my dad passing away on episodes and such, but also in the middle of the summer, I lost my job. We were bought out by another company, and they moved operations to another state, and I was not going with them. So then I was unemployed for a while, but now I started another job. I'm in the workforce again for the last 5 weeks, and it's going pretty well, and it's a big relief to have a job again. So that's going pretty well. The kids finished main school soccer, and my younger one played golf. Now we're moving on to
Plays
travel
golf?
soccer. Yeah, he did. He's done golf the last 2 years.
Yep. You know, Matt.
Matt's done golf.
Well, I mean, our CGS Matt.
Oh,
That Matt. He used to play golf in high school.
Oh, yeah?
So maybe you can give your boy a couple
Yeah,
pointers.
maybe, because I am no golfer. I'm actually looking for Matt to teach me how to play golf.
I took a golf as a elective in my first year of college. The only thing I remember from that is the grip. When you grip it, you make a V with your thumbs like this. You overlap. Yeah, I have a V. That's how you do it. That's all I know about that. Keep your head down. I was awful.
The best when I have
Matt
golf,
wasn't very good either.
which is very limited. I have made my strokes and gotten the long ball to go when I am most relaxed and not thinking about it. Like, I was with some friends for the day of one of their weddings, and I couldn't hit the ball to save my life. And thank God we were doing best ball. And the one time they were telling jokes behind me and laughing and not poking fun at me or anything, although they certainly could have, but they were just telling a joke. And I remember gripping the club, pulling back, and they did the punchline, and I just remember smiling, chuckling a little bit, and whoosh, and off it went. And it flew.
Are you left-handed?
I am left-handed.
Hey.
I'm a left-handed golfer and batter, but I write right-handed, and I throw right-handed. So that's going well. And sort of because I got the job, I went online when In Stock Trades had the Justice League Omnibus on sale, and I bought it.
Yeah!
I didn't open it yet.
Ha!
I didn't open it yet. I couldn't resist with that cover.
Yes.
I was really hoping that sucker would have a poster in it, but it doesn't.
And you see that cover was up on eBay.
Yes, and it's gone.
Yeah.
I actually watched a YouTube video of somebody opening that and paging through it because I didn't want to open mine.
Nice.
I have it in so many ways. I'm just not sure if I'm ever going to open it, at least not in the near future, but I just couldn't resist it.
Now you say you did not open it yet.
No.
So you have no idea what the smell of it is inside,
No,
do you?
no, nope. Unless there's a hole. I haven't looked around to see if there's a hole. Because sometimes the shrink wrap comes with a hole.
Well, sure,
And I
sure.
can-
You just
I can
gotta
huff that a little bit.
You huff that. What if the aroma leaks out?
It won't. But yeah, so I did get that. It was 50% off, so I was still happy to get it in that way.
Well, yeah, that's why you order them from the In Stock Trades
Heck yeah.
or DCBS.
In Stock Trades. I got this one at In Stock Trades.
okay.
And it was during its first week's release, so it was featured and 50% off. Normally it would be like 42%
Sure.
off or something. So that was fun to do that. And to get the free shipping, I ordered the Justice League and Wonder Woman Volume 2. So now I have the 2 Superman and Justice Leagues and 2 Wonder Woman Justice Leagues, which continue beyond the blah-ha-ha stuff. But, what can I tell you? I love that whole series.
Exactly.
So that was fun. I read, I don't remember what issue of Blue Beetle. I think it was 13. and Scott Collins, and is it Keith Giffen writing that yet?
Yeah.
Which series?
I believe
Blue
it's still.
Beetle.
Yes.
And they brought in the Justice League 3001 group, which I loved, so that was fun to read that.
Have you heard Giffen's going to be writing a new Inferior 5 series?
No.
Doesn't have anything to do with the old
Right.
Inferior 5.
It was just mentioned like the last episode we did. Previous, I think we
Kind of
talked
like Giffen's take on a Stranger Things type concept, but throwing the Inferior 5 name on
Okay.
it.
Oh.
about. Ooh.
Okay, well, I got the first 2 episodes of the Stranger Things 2 down.
I have to. I'll watch it when they're putting the gas in my house.
Oh, my God, fantastic.
I'll watch it when they put it on actual television.
When I did my DCBS order this month, I knew they weren't in this month's previews, and I expected them to be in the upcoming previews, but I didn't know. So at the end, I was just about to total my order and click checkout, and I thought, well, you know what? I'm going to go back and search. I went back and did a search, Pop Figures, Blue Beetle, Booster Gold.
Oh, yes!
And boom, they were on there. You could order them, so I added both of them to my
There you
my
go.
order.
Yep.
That'll be fun too. I'm gonna comes in an order if I happen to get it right before or after Christmas, because I really don't know when I will actually see them. I'm gonna wrap them up and put them under the tree
for yourself.
for myself.
That's fine.
Oh boy, that was great. So I was glad I just thought to search before I clicked checkout, because I would have been disappointed if I couldn't order them in November's.
Well, I think you have to get leaves thrown. Is that correct?
Yep, in about 7 to 10 minutes.
Oh, all right. Well, I mean, is there anything else we want to discuss before we wrap it up here?
I had one reading recommendation.
Go for it. Certainly.
And it's Halloween themed, so I want to get it out of the way here.
Absolutely.
This episode. And it's something from Dan Brereton.
Dan Brereton, yes.
Yep, it's a new volume of his Nocturnals property, which I've loved since the 90s, since it first popped up from Malibu. You know, that's how long ago this thing.
Wow.
It's been around for over 20 years now. I think it's like 1994 under their Bravura imprint, their creator-owned imprint. So it's Dan Brereton's own concept. It's the Nocturnals are a team of sort of paranormal investigators and adventurers, headquartered in the fictitious city of Pacific City, led by Doc Horror. Here he is on the cover, who's kind of like Doc Savage if he were a werewolf from outer space. And he's like a hard-boiled paranormal investigator, and he's got a little team of misfit operatives that work with him, including his little daughter, Eve. She goes by the name Halloween Girl, and she's got this little trick-or-treat bucket full of possessed toys that she can whip out to fight bad guys when necessary. There's Polychrome, the hippie ghost. There's Starfish, the two-fisted mermaid. There's the Gun Witch. He's kind of a fan favorite. He's a revenant spirit, like a really focused zombie who happens to wield a couple of cursed six-shooters. His mouth is stitched shut, so he's obviously the strong, silent type. But he's sort of like the bodyguard for Doc Horror and his daughter. And he had his own miniseries a bunch of years ago. So it's fully painted art. I mean, this is an original graphic novel. It's called Nocturnals: The Sinister Path. Apparently, it was produced as a result of a Kickstarter campaign and published through Big Wow Art Books. And it's I don't know if I could recommend it to anyone who's never tried a Nocturnal series before, because it doesn't. I mean, there's some like little profile blurbs at the beginning here introducing you to all the different characters. But yeah, the story is about the Nocturnals getting mixed up in the recent death of a local judge, who is he has a big spooky old Victorian house. So there's an element of haunted house exploration in it, which is always fun. He's rumored to have a treasure of he was rumored to be involved in the occult, for one thing. He had his own little occult group called the Sinister Path. That's hence the title. Also, he was reputed to have detailed files on just about everybody in town, criminal and otherwise, which are worth their weight in gold. And also, his family history is kind of creepily complicated, because he has a bunch of illegitimate children from a non-human mother, and some of these kids are out for revenge. Ooh. So a couple of them are on this cover here. Give it the sniff test, Shane.
I was going to ask about that. Oh, wow, that smells like old school paper.
Fragrant, isn't it?
I can smell from over here, actually.
Oh, yeah.
A little bit, yeah.
Fine bouquet.
Yeah.
Bouquet.
Bouquet.
Yes,
I love his artwork, and years ago, I got on a commission list of his, but I never followed through on it, because I would love to get a piece from him. It's just, what a wonderful artist.
It is a treat for the eyes, and
Yes,
he's
it
only
is.
gotten better over the years.
Because somewhere I have the 3 issues of Thrill Killer he did, like,
right.
Yeah.
but in different parts of my house.
With Chaikin wrote that, I think?
I believe
You may be
so.
right. I don't know.
Right, it's like an Elseworlds with
Yep.
Dick Grayson and Barbara Gordon.
Yep.
hitting the road like a Bonnie and Clyde kind of situation.
That was
I haven't read it,
series.
so I can't answer that.
That was a fun series. I enjoyed it.
I found that the back issue bins and got one here, one there, and then the third one somewhere, but never put them all together to read them.
Somewhere in the bowels of your house.
Somewhere,
it
yeah,
may be
I'll
found
find them now when I'm
with
doing
other treasures uncountable.
Oh God, I'm finding some cool things that I know I have, I just don't know where they are.
Yeah.
So anyway, Nocturnal's The Sinister Path. I do recommend, especially if you've read some Nocturnal stuff before. The artwork is it's worth it for the artwork alone, even if you don't know the characters.
Absolutely.
Very cool.
All right. Well, I guess if there's anything else, that'll wrap it up. Thank you again for Chris for giving us his update on Wildpig Comics, and we wish him the best. And we will be doing some more episodes. Like I said, down the line, we've got more previews coming up, more spotlights, all kinds of picture postcards coming up. So this episode once again was brought to you by LearnToGradeComicBooks.com. When you visit their site, you can pre-order the course and get an extra 5% off using the coupon code CGS2017.
Visit us at comicgeekspeak.com to send an email. The address is comicgeekspeak@gmail.com. To leave a voicemail, the number is 267-702-6642. Stop by thecomicforums.vanillaforums.com and let us know what you think of this all-over loosey-goosey episode. Follow us on Twitter, like us on Facebook. Thanks to everyone who contributes to the episode. Send in Muddle the Murd, so Pans cannot use penultimate, but still uses penultimate.
Save him from himself.
And as always, we are uniting the world's mightiest heroes, one listener at a time.